Hi, I'm Gary White for Central Kentucky Television. I'm here with Carla Abbey, who is the Executive Director for the Lebanon Tourist and Convention Commission. And recently, the Commission did a study to see about the need for more hotel rooms possibly in Lebanon, correct?
Yes.
How'd the study go?
Well, it was enormously affirming. I think in many ways there's not a whole lot of surprises in the report. It's a lot of things that we knew and probably a lot of the people around the community have felt or experienced themselves in seeking lodging in the community, particularly when there's large events. But also anyone who's involved in industry will know that tourism really is travel, which consists of your leisure visitor and your business visitor. And so whether an event's going on, that's your leisure visitor, or just year-round, our businesses have been filling our hotel well also. So we know from both sides of the coin that it was something that needed to be looked at. In fact, really, I'm not the first director of tourism who said so. Both our previous directors, Nikki Reynolds and Chris Hamilton, have indicated there was this approaching glass ceiling of maximum capacity, and so they indicated that it would be nice to have another study. In 2008, we did conduct a study, which was really very targeted towards the development of the Hampton Inn. And we partnered with them in that also, but naturally that data is dated, and we knew that our traffic has increased enormously since then.
So right now the only actual hotel in Marion County is the Hampton Inn, correct?
Well, we have the Hampton Inn, which consists of your 59 rooms, and then we also are very pleased to have the new addition at Rosewood Golf Course. They have a number of rooms out there which are equivalent in quality and size and amenities to the Hampton Inn, but they're more in a motel form where you drive up to the door. In addition to that, they at Rosewood they also have cabins available, which are 3-bedroom units with a full kitchen and a bath. So those are nice amenities also. But predominantly we've seen golfing visitors, which I think were the goal for Rosewood. So and they recognized also the need for a motel. So they built on earlier this year and added an addition of a nice few extra rooms there. And of course, needless to say, we also have some lodging in the form of bed and breakfasts. We have Myrtle Dean right down the street here on Spalding Avenue, and we also have our Hill House bed and breakfast, which is 3 miles outside of Maker's Mark, and of course our Holly Hill in downtown.
Okay. So what did the study show? How many rooms are we lacking, according to the study?
And that was probably the most affirming fact of all. I think when I was hired for this position, we did some research ourselves and came up with the number of 50 rooms were needed. That was really based on our inability to market to bus tours. So, just kind of looking at that and at the sometimes maximum capacity we've reached either through golfing visitors, business visitors, or other, that would be interesting. Now, since then, Rosewood is built on 17 rooms, and then this report really came back with another 36. So that comes pretty close to the number that we were looking at, and it's, as I said, it's just very affirming to hear that from an outside organization. This is an organization out of Minnesota. Was not very familiar with the community, had some trouble when they came down to do the report. They had some trouble to get a room. So, but it's been it's been very rewarding. They got to speak with a lot of business owners around the community and industry, and some of our leadership officials too.
Okay, so then the next step would be possibly trying to construct a new hotel, I assume.
Yes. Well, and based on this, this is just underlining the need. Based on that, we can go out and recruit. We can talk with investors who might be interested in developing such a thing. We targeted this particular study to a formula which we think would be well suited for the community. There's, of course, many franchise opportunities out there, and a lot of them would fit well. So all of that can be tailored. In studying the study, we really focused on a group called Cobblestone Inns, and it's just a franchise that has enormous success with local investors in small towns. They have about 47 units across the United States, ranging from Wisconsin, some of them all the way down as low as Kentucky and beyond. And they have a lot of success with their online room booking, and they're really kind of up to date. So their price range would be around $89 average daily rate. which puts them significantly lower than the Hampton, and creates a nice little spread there for a different type of visitor, than our traditional.
So the number that they're showing, what kind of impact does the lack of rooms have on the ability of the Tourist and Convention Commission to attract people? You were saying the bus tours, but also have you seen the impact of that lack of rooms over the years?
Yes, definitely. It's inhibited some of our events to grow, but more importantly, it's inhibited us from recruiting events. Oftentimes we will receive RFPs from events that are interested in coming to our community because of a lot of the other amenities we have. We have an enormous sports amenities. We have other facilities that just don't match the number of rooms that we have. So it's almost limiting. Once we put on the park addition and added all those extra fields on, to have a tournament of any size would require more than 60 rooms. To house them appropriately. And so those are really, we've felt that in recruiting some of the larger events that we've had, Color in Motion and Warrior Dash, events that require over 1,000 room nights. And, fortunately we've been able to acquire them, but retention is also important. And so looking into the future, we have to be able to provide a base for recruitment, but and also, as I said, bus tours are growing in interest. The Bourbon Trail has just begun. Being from the area, a lot of you have heard about the Bourbon Trail before, and it seems like second nature, but nationally and internationally, it's really just the beginning of its growth. And for having become a trailhead this year, we've seen some of that additional visitation. We just need to be able to meet our visitors with the proper amenities that they require.
Great. So again, they did a hospitality study to determine they need an additional 36 rooms or so in Lebanon. So we'll see what happens with that and whether there's any people who want to step up and kind of start building. So there's some space, I assume. Is that another thing that you looked at as actually where to build a hotel?
Well, the actual location is yet to be determined. I mean, clearly each investor will have their own take on that also. We've seen a great need for developing the downtown area. That's specifically because we've seen from some of our partners in neighboring communities that that's how they revitalize small town Kentucky. And so we would find it very important to look at those properties in addition to properties that might be outside of that, but to maintain that unique small town feel in a hospitality unit that really welcomes our visitors the way we want. I think that's what is the way of the future, and will really help us to start doing some of the marketing that we haven't been able to do.
Great. Again, I've been talking with Carla Abbey, who is Executive Director for the Lebanon Tourist and Convention Commission. This is Gary White for Central Kentucky Television.